Why did Snyder's Batman not kill the Joker? If this Batman kills criminals, and Joker killed his adopted son Robin, why did Batman not kill the Joker? A very common question, whether it be asked by fans of Snyder, people who are neutral, or gun monkey trolls looking to use such a question as an excuse for calling Snyder's Batman bad because they're mad that Snyder's Batman killed when it took inspiration from Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, where Batman killed, as delved into in this video. But anyway, this question isn't a plot hole and has many answers one can interpret beyond the basic reasons of villains being too popular to kill off, similar to why heroes who kill like Captain America or even the Punisher still have their main villains survive encounters with them. Now sure, Snyder's Batman kills, but we have to think of how he kills. Despite what the bots who lack critical thinking say, Snyder's Batman isn't a Punisher knockoff because he kills, as most of the criminals he comes across don't die, hence a plot point and his first scene where he brands the extremely vile criminals like a human trafficker before they get sent to jail. Most of his kills happen in a way that's self-defense within the heat of the fight as opposed to murder, as Snyder said here.
Well, I perceive it as not him killing directly, but by sort of, if the bad guys are associated with the thing that happens to blow up, that's not really, he would say that that's not really my problem, you know, like they shouldn't have been around that
Sort of
machine
manslaughter.
gun. What's that?
It's like manslaughter.
Yeah, a little more like manslaughter than actual murder.
Yeah.
His Batman basically operates in a way that's similar to the rules of how a cop is allowed to kill. But anyway, that interview gives interesting context to details one could already see just by watching the movie. Snyder's Batman has many vehicle kills, admittedly, but a funny detail is how every single vehicle demolished with gunfire from his Batmobile or Batwing shot at him first. Even the one badass vehicle Ricochet kill that looked like a kill he went out of his way to do was still something he did after they shot at him. This applies to the kill with the Batwing as well. That thug had enough time to leave that vehicle as Batman shot the floor like 10 or more meters away from him before bringing the line of fire towards the vehicle. He probably gave that thug shooting the Batwing and the mercenary holding Martha hostage more of a chance than the thugs he encountered with his Batmobile due to him resolving his conflict with Superman. But no, they still got themselves killed. And I don't feel bad for them because these criminals are soulless mercenaries who have killed innocent people for petty reasons. It's not a big deal that they died, as said in my full-on Snyder Batman defense video. But the point is, this context really helps explain why Batman didn't kill Joker when he was chasing him down near the start of David Ayer's Squad movie, where Joker and Harley were driving away from the Batmobile. Batman did not shoot that car like he did for the others, not just because he's in a populated street with other cars, but Joker is driving a regular car and isn't shooting at Batman, other than Harley herself shooting Batman with a pistol once Batman got on top of the car. Batman also is less likely to go hard on a vehicle Harley is in since she's sort of a victim of Joker's manipulation. And on top of all this, Batman didn't even catch the Joker, as Joker got away in the scene via using Harley Quinn as a distraction. But beyond those objective vehicle details, Joker is more than a great enough villain to just hide or just get away from Batman for prolonged periods of time, if he commits to it. A lot of the time Joker is found by Batman is because he wanted to be found. Joker is a smart enough villain who obsesses over Batman in just about every depiction, and with the amount of gangsters and Joker thugs he has working under him, he'd probably make sure to understand how Batman is starting to operate with his new rules, via what these gang members report. He'd probably be smart enough as a supervillain genius clown prince of crime to not put himself in scenarios where he could be killed in such a way that isn't premeditated murder like what Batman wanted to do with Superman when he feared he was an enemy to the world. Joker is fine with Batman killing him to prove his point, with Batman having to get his hands bloody to improve Gotham City. But Joker would want to win the game properly, instead of dying to the Batmobile in the most non-personal way, like the other no-name criminals did. He'd want it to be pure murder if it happened. Manslaughter in self-defense is one thing, but murder may not be a game that Batman wants to lose. It's hilariously the ultimate troll, killing Robin and then just running away from Batman at every turn, as we could assume he wasn't captured in BVS and was just evading capture, due to him being out and about in Ayer's squad. He was laying low and having his thugs and gangsters do his work, or having Harley get saved and captured as he got away. He was on the Giga Gangster Joker grind set, as Batman was being pissed off. Batman was being a justice and vengeance fan, while the Joker was being a chaos enjoyer. But finally we get to Zack Snyder's Justice League, with this scene set far into the dark apocalypse future, where Darkseid has somehow got Superman working for him after Lois died. But before Superman arrives, Batman and Joker has an intense conversation, where Joker teases what Batman lost.
Like a father? Like a mother?
Be very careful with the next thing you say.
Like an adopted son?
That's not very careful.
Joker teases that Batman wouldn't kill him, and then Batman responds by saying that when Harley was bleeding out, she told Batman to make sure he killed Joker, to which Batman swears he would honor that promise, but only isn't because he needs Joker in his efforts to time travel and undo how this world's turned out, which means that Joker had something to do with Lois dying in this future. This means that Batman might have wanted to kill Joker anyway after he killed Robin. Or maybe he didn't and only started considering it more heavily in this Justice League scene, due to the fact that Joker had something to do with how messed up this entire planet turned out to be, due to whatever he did to Superman's love, Lois. Sorta reminds me of Injustice, but anyway. The point is, this isn't a plot hole. An unanswered question that isn't super central to the plot isn't a plot hole. It's merely an unanswered question that later had the answer heavily implied near the end of Justice League with the clip I just talked about. As said near the start of the video, it's an excuse for criticism, and it's just people looking to make up a reason to not like a movie that they decided to hate because they didn't mess with a movie that asked the viewer to think of deeper, real-world themes instead of MCU jokes and dance-offs. Or they lacked critical independent thinking and listened to some YouTuber or Redditor that told them Snyder was bad. Just like what they did for Spider-Man 3 and the Star Wars prequels. It's all silly stuff, but speaking of the Star Wars prequels, it would be like people getting mad at how the Jedi kill, and then saying, oh well, if the Jedi just murdered Maul and Jango Fett, then why didn't they just kill Count Dooku during the Clone Wars? And the answer to that would be that they just didn't do it yet despite their best efforts, whether they would have killed or captured him. And the Jedi is an appropriate comparison to Snyder's or Frank Miller's Batman, which I'll give its own video someday, because both Affleck and the Jedi kill, but they try not to if they can help it, but still will if push comes to shove in the heat of the battle via self-defense or the defense of others. But anyway, to finish off with Batman, that pretty much nails the two assumable interpretations as to why he didn't kill Joker. As for other villains, most of them with the exception of Zaz or Pig, aren't as messed up as Joker. Batman would have enough pity for the man Two-Face was and would probably try to avoid killing him, similar to other villains that are victims to circumstances like Mr. Freeze, and even Killer Croc to some extent. Riddler, like Joker, wouldn't put himself in a scenario to die in a way that would be manslaughter instead of murder. Same with Penguin. It's the same tactics that one would use to not be killed by the cops when being taken in. If the Mafia can do it, so can supervillains. And who knows, maybe he killed some of the sick ones that are pure evil or wouldn't be willing to yield, like Pig, Zaz, or Bane. As said before, an unanswered question isn't a plot hole, especially when it's not central to the plot. Whether it be a movie about the conflict between Batman and Superman, or a squad movie about villains being forced by the government via bombs in their neck to fight a bigger villain. If it were a Batman solo movie that we sadly never got, and they didn't address this, then they might have had a point, especially if it were a movie with the Joker in it. But that movie never got to happen, and odds are they would have addressed it there if they got the chance. But anyway, that pretty much wraps up the genuine question or the BS gun monkey excuse for a complaint that I keep seeing these bots regurgitate, every time they get mad at Batman killing, like he did in older comics like his first appearance, or The Dark Knight Returns, and most other Batman movies, especially Keaton's in 1989. Next time you see one of these gun monkey bots pasting their Dookie question as an excuse for criticism, don't waste too much time talking to them, as they'll never change their minds no matter how objective the rebuttal is. I dealt with these idiots, so you don't have to. Just link them this video of fairly objective points and call it a day, as you have a job to do instead of being chronically online and not employed like most Snyder haters are, that don't represent the general public, hence a box office difference between Gunn's Superman and a 12-year-old Snyder Superman movie, even without inflation. But anyway, check out my media and my link tree like my Discord and Twitter, and check out my other Snyderverse videos I've been on a roll with. Thanks for watching.